me giving one?
Yeah.
I think my favorite one is the Morty one where he's talking to Summer about putting all the like excrement in a box and like making sure it's together. I'm not gonna say the whole quote, but it's pretty intricate. I like it a lot. Yeah.
How hard is it to be patient and kind of wait your turn to get out there?
It's not hard for me. I think for some guys it's hard, but I think like if you look at like I think a championship culture is not getting the starting position and like pouting and wanting to transfer. It's waiting your turn and performing your role to the best of your ability, even if it's not a starting role. Because I can still very much help this team in its chase for the national championship, even though I'm not a starter.
Where's the line made the biggest strides over the last 3 or 4 weeks?
I think we're just playing physical, and you can tell. I think we're consistent, and that's big as an offensive line. And I think just like you're starting to like have certain plays that we do very well, and just like as an offense, I think as a play caller that's a good feeling that you have like a set of plays where if you call them, they're gonna work. Like 9 times out of 10, no plays 100% successful.
Have you started to see some things grow off of those base sets? Because you talked so much in the offseason about they want to really perfect a handful of things maybe.
Right.
Is that expanding now? Can you guys see that happening weekly?
Oh yeah, we're definitely expanding the playbook, and like what it is not. It's like we have the base plays, and then like you have different ways of running the same kinds of plays. So like you disguise the play, and like the defense has never seen it ran out of that set, or maybe you run a set that like you always run a particular play out of, and then you're like, whoa, let's run a different play, and see how that works.
Is that starting to take shape?
Oh yeah. That's a work in progress, and you can see it actively like branching out and progressing as the season goes along.
From what you saw, it looked like a switch was flipped in the second quarter. What was different from the guys up front from the second quarter on in Saturday's?
It's hard to say. I don't think that I don't know if necessarily something happened with the guys up front. I think like we figured out as an offense the types of plays that we needed to run, and maybe the plays that we were calling in the beginning of the game, for whatever reason, their game plan was working against them, and we made some adjustments, and we adjusted our play calls a little bit, and we found like a few plays that we really liked and that worked, and they weren't necessarily the plays maybe that we thought, but like it took a while, but we found the plays that were going to work, and we just kind of pounded them. And that once you find a few plays that work, it kind of opens up the offense. You can start going back to some of the old plays and like maybe some like play action passes and so on.
Have you seen Caesar improve week to week?
Caesar. It's hard to see improvement in Caesar because he's just so good. It's like. But I think it's the little things, and like when Caesar. So I started playing center because last fall camp, I was playing left guard and I was making all the calls for C's because he was still learning. He just got here, and now he's just like you just see Caesar. He knows everything. He makes all the calls, and I'll also give him some hints if I'm at guard with him. But like he doesn't need it. It's just helping him out, and I think it as like holistically it helps our offense when like we have multiple guys out there that know the calls. But I think that's the biggest thing, just like being solid on the calls and knowing everything.
Is Ben Mason, you kind of look at him as one of you guys, the way he plays and as physical as he is?
Oh, I was confused about one of you guys. Like You mean like as an offensive lineman?
Yeah, not really, but just as a blocker and that physical presence.
I don't think Ben Mason's like anyone.
Yeah.
I think that man is one of a kind, truly unique, and you can just see it like in his eyes that he just wants to like shove his face into somebody else's face like at full speed, and he doesn't really have any like he doesn't have any reservations about it, just like throwing his body on the line. He really wants to, which is kind of rare. I can't say necessarily that I have no reservations, but I think he's kind of has the potential to be like a Brandon Jacobs-esque kind of kind of player for us if we end up using him as a running back more. But also, he's just like the greatest blocker. Probably, he's probably the best fullback in the country. I imagine. Not that I've like scouted all the fullbacks, but like, yeah, he's just like he's big, he's athletic, he can run. He's smart. He knows the plays. He cares a lot about football. He's like basically everything you're looking for in the fullback, I think. Yeah.
So he's smart, but I mean, he has this version where he doesn't like think, he just does it. I mean, he's throwing his body into.
I think all of his thinking happens pre-snap,
Uh-huh.
and then after the snap, he's just like beelining to wherever he knows he had to go. You know, and sometimes if the guy moves a little bit, it's just like, but you know, for the most part, you know, he's heat-seeking missile into his assignment. Yeah.
You mentioned if you used him more, if you guys started using more at running back, you'd be Brandon Jacobs. Do you see in practice that he sort of has that capability to be
Oh yeah.
running back?
Yeah. Have you ever watched his high school film?
Can't say I have.
You should. Yeah, all he did was run for like 60-yard touchdowns in high school. Yeah, he's definitely a combo back. I would describe him as like he's a fullback, but he can play running back. It's not like some of the guys like Poggi was not a running back by any means, or Khalid. He's a legit. He probably runs like a 4.6 or lower. So it's not like if he was at there are a number of schools in the FCS where he would be the feature back, the feature running back. He's a legit talent, and when we put him at running back, it's not a gimmick. It's he can do it. You know.
Is that something you guys want to see more?
I want to see more of it. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone, but I get so fired up when he's back there. Yeah, because I think as an offensive lineman, when you know that the running back is going to run over someone, it like gives you a little bit more incentive to block, because you're like, well, if he's going to run over people, then I can get downfield and I can get extra blocks. I can push the pile, and that's the most fun thing to do as an offensive lineman, is to make those downfield blocks and to push the pile. You know.
Speaking of heat-seeking missiles, Chase, I mean, when you watch last week's game in particular, what is his energy? What does he bring?
He's just a weird guy. It's hard to describe. He's just like, he just kind of gets in a zone, but like that zone kind of translates to off the field too. It's just like constant like zone, and it's very intense and like, you know, just like, I would describe him as crafty. Just like you wouldn't. He doesn't necessarily like. He's not like 6'7", 275 on the edge or anything. But it's just like always getting the job done and finding like the angle and the right move to like catch the offensive lineman by surprise and like torque him and get in the backfield and make big plays. So he's a great player for us, and he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a good pro too. So he's got a good future, and I'm excited to watch him.
Anything else? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.